All
right, tonight on Diversified Diecast, we're going to be talking Hondas. And I bought a bunch of these recently, and obviously I had them in clamshells in the totes, and under my desk and what have you. And again, like I was talking on the previous videos, now that I'm going through everything and really just kind of breaking everything out of its shell, I thought these would be some really good examples that a lot of you probably have that you're apprehensive about opening up. This car has always been kind of hard to get a hold of. I'm really excited about getting it out of the package. And of course, tonight I was going through the ones I'm talking about opening up tonight and comparing to the ones that I already had in my loose collection and making sure they have any doubles. And obviously I only had one. I actually thought I had more. For some reason I thought I already had this one, this Drag Civic, and maybe even the one on the bottom, but I don't. I may have at one point and it may have gotten traded or what have you. But we're going to go through these. I'm probably going to do, I'm not sure what order they're going to be in, but we'll open up these 9 right here and I'll do quick glances at all the rest of them just so I can get a good look at these cars too. There's a couple S2000s, some newer Type Rs, the EGs, the EKs, CRX, whatever. So I have this one. I wish I had the gold one, but this is probably one of everybody's personal favorites too, because it has really nice detailing all over it and carbon fiber hood and red interior, gold wheels, etc., etc. So I'll grab a stack of these. We'll pull them out of the stand. We'll cut them open, and I'll give you all a close-up look of them. Give you all a rundown of what series they're from and what years, and then we'll go through, like I said, the rest of the existing loose collection I have. So stand by. We'll get it paused, and we'll get you all a good view. All right, I think we're going to start with the CRXs. I'll do a white one first, then a black one, then a white one to end it with. So I got these over here. Let me get my surgical instrument here. All right, so this one is, let's see what copyright this is. It's saying 2020, so it's probably a 21. Hot Wheels Speed Graphics. This is 3 out of the 10 in the sub-series, and the collector number is number 90. 85 Honda CRX. So not too detailed, but I know the whole intent of me keeping all the loose main lines, mid-grade, silver series, what have you, and a lot of the nicer main lines is if they have tampos front and rear. But these cars are really popular. I've grown to like them a lot, and they're still overall pretty nice. And I figured, they can become nice customs later on. So I just decided to keep these. So don't judge me because there's nothing on the back. And, hey, why are you keeping that? And, what have you. But nothing special. But it's a little Honda CRX. These things were real popular when I was a kid. Allegedly, these things get like 50 or 60 miles to the gallon. But they only got like 60 horsepower. And I'm not sure. I know it's this style of CRX, 85 to probably 88, if you will. But interior in these things. Let's see what kind of Easter egg they got in there. I should be looking at that. I don't know what that is, but I sure would like to find out. We'll have to look in these other 3 to see if we can get a better view. If y'all know what that is back there in the back, drop in the comments. Because it's super hard to tell. Anyway, there's that one. We'll try to find a few little parking spots for it. I'm going to say that one be right there. Okay, the next one is, looks like it's a different color variant. Same exact car from that year. Yeah. So 2020 copyright, which is probably a 2021. Same model, same sub-series. Yeah, this is just basically just the other color variant. So this one's in black. And it seems like to me, when I was buying a lot of main lines, loose or on cards, I was really trying to prefer to get 2020 and down, because it seems like a lot of the 2020 cars and newer, not all of them, but the bulk of them, right? They quit doing a lot of less detailing on the bottom. It seemed they went to more of a flat base. But as you can see, we got the little pam in the back. The black to me is a little bit nicer. Well, this one's got a gray interior, so maybe we can make out what's actually in there. But again, like later on, we can do some custom lenses, you know, paint the side marker lights, turn this thing into a real sweetheart, you know, wheel swap, maybe do a tampo removal. I don't know. Repaint, who knows? Great little castings. All right. So, man, what is that? It looks like looks like a spare intake or something. It's hard to tell. I know these things aren't rear engine. That is weird. Surely they didn't put this thing as a rear engine. Anyway, no comment on that. They do have this as right-hand drive. That's kind of a mystery. I'm going to do some research on that. Sorry I didn't do that beforehand. And this is basically... So this is an 88 CRX. And this is a Honda sub-series. Car 5 out of 5. 123 out of 250 for this year. And it is I'm assuming probably a 2019 because it says 2018 right here. Let's check this one out. Who knows what we'll discover. And if I'm just totally skipping a step and the ones across the pond over there, you know, in 85, rear engine, that's definitely news to me. Again, if y'all know, please let us know. Yeah. Basic mainline quality. Looks pretty good until you start looking at it real close. Got some kind of paint error right there in the blue. It almost looks like it's a paint run. It's kind of neat. But they do have tampos on the back of these, which make them really nice. But of course the front, not thin. Not thin. Yeah, see, this is what I'm more like. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I know these cars. I mean, these, oh, you know what? These are a little different. So this is the one, like this body style, that we knew here in the States, left-hand drive. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe those are rear engine. And I guess maybe them being turbo. I don't know. Let me know if you know anything about that platform, because apparently I may have made a mistake. But these are the ones that we know to get pretty good mileage, and they were pretty comfy for their size. But you weren't not putting anything in the backseat of this thing unless it was a backpack. Pretty flat bottom. Yeah, see, I was wondering, everything's in the rear on this thing. Huh, maybe it is a rear engine. Anyway, we'll move past that. If I made a mistake, so be it. I'm no JDM expert by any means. All right, so that's the CRXs, if you will. Let's do the let's do these two 4-doors in the Honda S2000 from Fast and Furious. So, obviously know the Tokyo Drift movie. This was, I can't recall the guy's name, but it's a Silver Series car. This is from, I think actually this is this year, I believe. And this is the one you cannot find. You can occasionally find the Fairlane, the Camaro. This car is a peg warmer. This car I've only seen a handful of times, and I haven't bought any of these because this is the only car I really wanted. But I'm curious to see what this one looks like outside the package. And this is car number 1 out of this series. That's why it was top left on the back of that card. Honda S2000. Doesn't say the year on here. Oh, shiny. Look at that. Oh man, double die cast. I was wondering why it's so heavy. Very nice. I always liked the graphic on this car. You know, the throwing star, and just looks, anything like that looks good on that black. You know, good contrast. Yeah. I mean, a real custom guy would love this car, to do a wheel swap on it and put some rubber underneath it. And the whole car is, it's nice overall. It's got good paint on it. You know, it matches the car from the movie. Double die-cast is a nice feature. Everything on the chassis is pretty detailed. I mean, this is legit. I mean, look how small the Yokohama is, and look how clear it is. Definitely a shelf car. This thing is sweet. Real nice. All right, we'll put him up front because it's just so pretty. All right, next up is I got this one from a guy who's up north. These next two cars, actually, the bulk of these Hondas I got from him. So all three of the CRXs I got from him, and it may have been the S2000 as well, and these two cars. I know I got these two, and the three we just opened. But anyway, this is a 2016 Type R Civic, car 4 out of 5. I'm not sure what sub-series this is, but here's the cars in that set. That SI would be pretty nice to have. So apparently, this is the only car of this series I have. EF Civic, EG Civic, you know, hatchbacks, the SI, and I guess this car is the 18 or 16. I'm sorry, it's this car here, and then this is 21. So more than likely a 2022. But yellow was cool. It was different. I like the card art on it. I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't have a yellow four-door Civic. I've got a red one, a couple of white ones. You know, the orange, green, what have you. But the yellow I don't have. All right. Little scrapes, bumps, and bruises on the back, but tempered front and rear, that was another thing I liked about it. Once I got it, I noticed. Really? Okay, just overlook it. It'll be fine. It'll be just fine. Everything else is nice. Don't worry about it. Really good detail. It's pretty similar to this car. In fact, it's actually, yeah, same casting. Wheels are a little bit better on the yellow one, obviously, because it's that kind of that special series. These two cars, I believe, are 20 and APAC cars, you know, mainlines, if you will. All right, I'll take it. It could be worse, for sure. Good looking car. So I like the yellow. All right, this one is an 18 model Type R, 2 out of the 5. This is probably, if I had to guess, the same sub-series as this. This is a, nope, previous year. So 2017, so this is probably the 2018 run. 2018 Type R, collector number 81 at 250. Kind of skint that one pretty quick. On the racing, number 18. I'm assuming that's for the year model. Probably could have done a little touch up on them front fog lamps, but that's all right. Some nice livery on the front, something different. Wheels are okay, not crazy about them. And there you have it. Nothing on the back. But like I said, they do sell tampos for these cars, you know, for the custom guys. Honestly, instead of trying to paint these things, I plan to do a lot of the custom and, you know, faux patina and rust acceleration and whatnot and the scrap style. But if I ever do paint, you know, paint customs, I'm probably just going to do tampos because I think they look so much better. It's a little more tedious, but if you take the time to cut everything out and, you know, pull them off the water paper and put them on, it's hard to beat. I mean, there's no way you could brush paint that. I'm sorry, but at least I can't. And I got a pretty steady hand, and I'm pretty particular, but there's no way I can take a paintbrush and any kind of paint and duplicate that kind of detail. So, again, whenever I get to that point, you know, in the hobby and I just get bored with my collection and I want to do something different, when the weather's nasty and, you know, all the other things that I like to do when it's nice and cold outside, when those things are over, you know, season-wise, I can spend some time doing that when it's quiet. So, nothing too special. We will move on to, where do I want to put this one? Let's stick it over here. All right, so the hatchbacks, we're going to do the two little drag Civics. And this is the new one for this year, 25. We'll open it up last. The drag Civics, nothing super crazy, but I thought they were cool because there was a point in time we used to go to the drag strip all the time in high school and even after high school. And there was a class of these cars that ran. And, you know, you laugh because back then we were all, you know, pure muscle. But you can talk all the trash you want. When you see one of these things get in the pit and get ready to stage and do a burnout, and when they put down a time, you don't have a lot to say except, wow. But doesn't say what year these are. I think these are EG. Let me see. Let me school myself real quick. So these are EG Civics, if my memory serves me right. I think these are like 94s, 5s. I could be wrong. Again, please correct me. Don't worry about hurting my feelings. Hot Wheels Drag Strip Sub-Series, car 7 out of 10. Collect number 172. And this is from 22. It says 21 on here. There's a possibility it could be from 21, but again, nothing too special. This car could definitely use a little more detail because it is so cool. And it's kind of fitting for how this car would actually look and be set up. But again, we can do the custom tempo or paint thing if we want to later on. Got the studded Lexan. I thought that was cool. The black car I have, I'll show it to y'all later. It's got some really nice detailing like this one too. Right-hand drive. A little bit of detail on the chassis, undercarriage. Could be worse. It's all right. Not crazy about the lenses, but that can be fixed too. Of course, not on the back. Oh, let's see here. The other drag Civic. This is a newer one. I think this is this year, 25. I'm pretty sure this is 25. They call this the reverse rake series because they have that cant and slant. I don't really think it belongs in that series, honestly. It should have been more of a JDM or, you know, what have you. But this is basically the same exact casting as the one we just opened. But what I really like about this one is it's blue and red, and I like the chrome wheels on here versus that black on that white one. Just stands out a little more. Better looking car to me. Got the Michelin livery on there. AEM Motorsports. I mean, look at that. That's not bad. Pretty blue metallic paint. Nothing crazy on the back. This one has open windows. I don't know if y'all caught that or not. Oh, wait. Sorry. Duh. Yeah, same exact casting as that white one. And this one, those lenses filled in with the Lexan. It's not a bad touch. On this car, it doesn't look too bad. Got the little on there. That's pretty cool. At least I got that right. Big old intercooler and pretty good sized millimeter turbo over there on the driver's side. All right, and last, going to be the 25 mainline Civic. Sub-Series 70s versus 90s. First car out of the 10, and collector number 28. I'm not as crazy about this one, as it's hard to decide if I like the red one or the blue one the most. Honestly, I think I like the red one because it looks a little more detailed in the front. And I think it's because it has the chrome wheels. The blue one is nice, but this is probably, out of these three, I mean, nothing beats this car. This is definitely one of the nicer, hatchback Civics I got. I think it's the EF. Don't quote me on that either. But this one's not bad. And what I liked about it was it's so different. And again, these things they're like finding treasure hunts. They're just not everywhere. And this one was found at Dollar Tree. Tyler and I went to this Dollar Tree after Christmas, coming back to my parents' house in between where they live and we live. It's not far. But this Dollar Tree had a wall that was just flooded with cars. And it's in a fairly decent part of town, so I think they just had the Christmas wave come through there, and they just hung about 4 or 5 fresh boxes. And I stopped in there, coming back from either their house or a buddy of mine's parents' house who's in the same town. And I just happened to poke my head in there, and lo and behold, this thing was right on the front, and it was the only one there. So I obliged, and I took it, and it's the only one I got, and now it's open. So I don't know, it's kind of growing on me. I still think the red one's better, but all right, so let me put the ones that we opened up tonight to the side so we don't get them mixed up, and I will show y'all a little quick glance at all my other Honda loose cars that I had. I really can't tell you nothing about them because all the info bags are sitting over here to the side, and there's no way I'd be able to, not without taking another 30-40 minutes, tell y'all what was what. I can't believe I made the mistake on these cars, but again, I'm going to do a little research and find out what's what with those. Okay, so, all right, we'll just go left to right. Drag Civic, same as the white and the red and blue when we open. Oh, you know what? I missed that. The exhaust pokes out of the hood. It's really noticeable on this car. And it is, I guess, kind of noticeable. Yeah. So anyway, I really wish the exhaust actually sticked up a little further, because that's how a lot of them are. They out the hood, banging the rev limiter at 7,500. These are the early 70s Hondas. I'm sure you saw these guys everywhere. This isn't my favorite variant. This one is. But I do like this car just because the casting's cool, and this was a car way before my time, honestly. And I remember seeing a handful of them. I mean, literally a handful, and they were parked and gone and in pieces. And they weren't the right-hand drive models, obviously. But there you have it. Here's the other variant. I want to say this was a 23, and I believe this is a 24. But I really like the paint on this car. I love these split 3-spoke wheels. Very fitting for this casting. 73 for the year model. These are 73 model Hondas. Honda Civics. This is a SA100, if I remember right. Yeah. This is a really cool casting. I wish they would have kind of done it up a little more, because I only saw these things on TV. I don't remember seeing one here. Obviously, this is right-hand drive, so they may not have been here. But I remember seeing these things slide around the corners on old ESPN videos, way back. I'm talking about when I was 5 or 6 years old in late 80s, early 90s. But this was actually a pretty good looking car for a mainline. I like the wheel choice on it. All of them that I saw were just in this color variant. I'm not sure if they came in another one, but again, pretty common car, but I thought y'all want to get a close-up look at it. I think this is a 16. No, man, I was way off. 2008 Civic Type R two-door. I do like this car because they had tampos front and rear. I got this car in a trade from that guy in Arkansas. Casted mirrors. You don't see a whole lot of these. The ones I do, they're four-doors down here. There's a guy at one of the facilities I work at. He has a black one that I think's a little later year model, 2011 or 2012. It looks real similar to this car. But again, his is a four-door. This little beat right here. Oh, man. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, no. I did not realize this thing had a big old gouge on the driver's mirror. No good. And the passenger side. This was not a blister pull for me. This was a car that I got in a trade. I don't remember this thing having them big old hickeys on there and having play wear. But nonetheless, I'll keep a lookout for another one, and this one can become a custom at some point. Four-door, I think this is the 16. No, this is the 2018 Type R. I like this one because it looked like the new one that's on shelves everywhere now, which is kind of surprising. But it has no livery, and it has the red outline anodized wheel. And this one, unlike, I think this car doesn't have tampos on the back. Yeah, see? Nothing. Nothing on the sides, but with tampos on the rear. And the front's pretty similar. Yeah. Definitely, I know I bought this car loose. I think I bought it loose with the white car over here. Not the 8-pack car you see, but this other one over here. And I hadn't seen one like it since, so I was glad I bought it. It was like $3 for each car, whatever. Very plain on the bottom. But again, good tampos on the rear. Same thing for the front. This is the one that, I think this is a 20-pack car from Best Buy. I like the color. Again, this one was in one of my garages. If y'all saw that video, I think I had it backed in there. The orange one, if I remember right, I got this recently. I bought it in one of the newer 8-packs. Because I like this model of Civic, especially in a Type R, you know, or an SI. I didn't have an orange one, and it was sticking out. And it was actually in an 8-pack that had, I think, 5 cars I wanted total. So it was actually a pretty good one, and I decided to pick it up. This one I really couldn't tell you where I got, but it's probably one of my favorite Hondas because I just haven't seen one like it. And I remember this little badge on some of these cars. It was on the later model Civics that I remember. But this is how you'd want one of these, man. Black wheels, red or black interior, dark smoke tint, not slammed, not stock height, just right, you know. Good solid driver. Again, no tampos on the back of that one, but still a nice casting. The blue one's the same as the red car. This, I believe, was a blister pull from me. I'd found this car a while back, and I wanted to have it out to match the red one. They were on the shelf where the Matchbox collectors cars are now at one point before they became a Matchbox shelf. The S2000s, I got 2 of them. I got the yellow variant. I want to say these cars were 2023, maybe 2022. This is one of my favorite Hondas because I'm big on rear-wheel drive, and I love the fact when they came out with this car, I was in probably 7th grade, maybe 8th grade, and I remember reading an article about this thing, and it was so cool. They were still basically in the development stages of it, and I was like, finally, a Honda that you can actually fit in, you know, rear-wheel drive, you know, nice powertrain. A lot of thought went into this car, and man, it just speaks in volumes, you know. I rode in one once over here, didn't get to drive one. Very impressive car. It is literally glued to the road, and the fit and finish of any Honda is pretty much it's hard to describe, but this car is no exception. If you know anybody who has one of these and you hadn't rode in one, talk them into it. You won't regret it. I'm not even going to show you that car because everybody's seen it, but this is the one I bought with this other red 4-door here. This almost looks like it was a previous 8-pack or 20-pack car because I want to say I've seen it. But again, it's got detailing on it like the 2018s I have. You know, Tampa's front and rear. And when I bought it initially with that red one, I don't remember seeing many like this. You know, everybody wants to confuse it with the other car, which is actually a new year model. But same thing for this one. I'm not going to show y'all. I guess I can do a quick pan. This thing is everywhere now. I bought a few of them. You know, 1 or 2 for me, 1 or 2 for a buddy of mine. I think 1 for the trade bin. And now you find them everywhere, which is kind of surprising. Every time I find them now, I hang them up on the dump bin, you know, pegs, which I don't dig through them anymore like I used to. I find them on the shelves. I put them up front for the next guy. But I guess they just don't take off like, you know, they have in the past. It's a nice car. This right here, wheel choice is terrible. You know, and it's not the most desirable one, but really kind of surprising that thing isn't scalped. The red variant of the S2000, not sure which one I like better. The red car is probably a little bit better looking car, and it seems to be the paint finish is a little bit better on it than the yellow one, but I don't know. It's a toss-up. These CRXs are really cool, but I hate that they don't do them on the front, especially when the rear's so nice. But again, I mean, when you have them parked in something or sitting like that, ain't nothing wrong with that. That, I'm pretty sure, was a 23. This, I believe, is a 24. Again, I didn't think I already had it, but I did. I guess I had picked it up in all my hunts from previous times. But that does it for the Honda Loose Collection. Sorry if I felt like I was trying to speed roll. I know it ended up being a 30-minute video. But I was trying to get my talking and yapping done a little faster. So I apologize if it's a little hard to understand some of the dialect and some of my sentences. It is getting late. And like I said, I was trying to get y'all a good view of everything I got here. Again, definitely no disappointment on the Fast and the Furious S2000. That car is really nice. Double die cast. Just do a quick recap. That was basically as expected. Same thing for this one. Paint's a little better on this car than I thought it'd be. These hatchback, or these CRXs they're a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, these turbo models are kind of cool because I didn't realize they were the right-hand drive, allegedly probably a rear engine variant. Didn't even know that was a thing. That'd be this car and this car over here. This was definitely a nice treat. This car hits and checks every box that I wanted it to. This one wasn't too bad. Tampos could have been on the rear of that one. And then this green Civic is really starting to grow on me. I mean, in relation to the red and blue one, it's kind of hard to tell which one you'd pick out. I don't know. They all have their own nice little flavor. But I'm definitely going to find another one of these red ones because this thing has some pretty substantial damage on her. But there you have it. Try to wrap this one up, and I'm going to do the Matchbox Collectors here in a minute and try to get that one knocked out tonight. If not, it'll be next week because I will be out of pocket tomorrow for Friday Night Greenlight. And I apologize, but I do have a nice treat for Friday Night Greenlight. I am going to open up the Greenlight Kings of Crunch new series, and I'm going to try to do a little old school index card read off. I'm going to do a little research on those trucks and give y'all a little 20 or 30 second recap fact of that driver and that team, if you will, just in case, you know, some of you guys don't remember those trucks from that time period, or they're before your time, or, you know, they were a lower, you know, scoring winning racer. We can get a little education out of the deal. So we'll close this one out. If we get to do this other one for Matchbox Collectors tonight, great. If not, You guys have a safe and happy Labor Day. Look out for your family and your friends out there, and stay safe. See you guys.